fact, leg workouts is just good for all athletes. As you can see, it's building that muscle. The biggest muscle on our body is on our legs. As you can see, my colleague has loaded quite a significant number of weights to make sure that he presses hard for those muscles. Yeah, he's giving it a slow and steady workout. So next workout that we're hitting is called the leg extension. So my buddy here, Peter, is making sure that those muscle legs are being defined. So this workout is mostly on the definition of the quads, making sure that they're ripped and they look good. So he's making sure that as he's pressing, his momentum is stable, his movement is on point, and he's focusing mostly on his front legs, front muscle legs, which are the quads. Very good for all athletes. Okay, back at it again. We're now doing the lowest part of the legs, which are the calves, making sure that those legs are well positioned. You know, when your upper legs are bigger than your lower legs, you kind of look off proportion. So as you can see, he's targeting mostly on his lowest muscle leg muscles, which are the calves, making sure that the stamina is on point. He looks good, preparing for that summertime. You know, most activities in the summertime, swimming and whatnot, very good for our friends that are playing soccer, you know, to have that power in the legs, because the ball is released on the lower part of the leg. So as you can see now, he's mostly focusing that muscle, building that muscle. Press that muscle, my guy. Yes, nice one. Yeah, so this is a calf machine and this is a calf workout. Yeah, okay. Back at it with Mr. Sunday doing the wrap up of the legs. We are now hitting that hamstring. The hamstring is the muscle that is just right behind the quads. But this machine hits both the hamstring and as well as the calves. Very good workout, giving you that good stamina, that good momentum. You know, legs are very, very, very much important. As an athlete, you need to balance your upper body and as well as your lower body, knowing the fact that we have more muscle on the lower body. So the lower body needs to be hit much. As you can see, the focus is just right there on the hamstring, making sure that his legs are looking good, his legs are looking fresh, preparing for that summertime. This is Mr. Swanza from Gladiator Fitness. Yes, nice one, champ. Good show. Yes, as we are winding up the legs, you know, it's very much important to work on that core, the ab workout, making sure that the middle part of the body is flat, working on that six-pack. So this workout is a hardcore ab workout being worked on by Mr. Sunday Mwanza. So he's targeting more on the muscles and as well as burning that fat. As you can see, his legs are also playing a bigger role to make sure that the focus is more on the core. So this workout
know that you are tuned into Live Breakfast this morning, and I'm super excited that you had time to join us as we have topical conversation today. And I'm not alone, of course. My name is Indanji, and I'm with Brenda. Brenda, good morning.
Good morning, Danji. How are you?
I'm good. The new month, August. A lot of things are going to be happening this month.
A lot of things are going to be happening, and a lot of things have happened in the past month.
Happy New Month.
Happy New Month to you too.
Yeah, it's always good to have a conversation with you, Brenda, in the morning. I think the way we're gonna maybe start our conversation is to make mention of our country. So August being a new month, of course, there's so many things that are going to be happening. Of course, the day that this country's future also will be defined, of course, on the 12th of August. And I must make mention as we approach the election, there's so much conversation around that we're going to look at as we move forward. But speaking about the election, I think as we move to that direction, it's prudent enough today that we make mention today that it's Farmers' Day. And we'd like to thank our farmers for the hard work. And of course, without farmers, we wouldn't have our nshima that we love very much and our beans that we enjoy very much. And it's very important as a country moving forward that we need to embrace agriculture as much as possible in terms of making sure that it supplement the other economic activity that we are doing so that our GDP can be performing very well. So as at now, Brenda, we have 19% earning from agriculture. But I feel like Zambia still has a lot of potential in terms of generating more GDP revenue, especially contributing to the GDP, of course, the revenue from agriculture, which can be channeled to developing and expanding Zambia. And of course, the government did announce that we were going in the diversification phase where we needed agriculture to be part of the chain of contributing to the economy, which is a very good move. And I feel like Zambians need to really understand that agriculture is the only way we're going to get ourselves out of poverty. And the cashew nut project is a good one as well. And cashew nut on the market is doing so well. And if people can venture into that, those ventures, they will do so much better in their livelihood. So farmers, thank you very much.
There you have it, farmers from Danji. Now moving on, we need
to thank Mr. Sunday for the fitness.
For the fitness, we didn't thank him. Sorry, Mr. Sunday. Well, thank you so very much for those fitness tips. You can always visit the Gladiator. That's where we bring in the fitness tips from. Yeah,
it's always awesome to do some exercise with Mr. Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah, quite an inspiration, man. Moving on, so the D-Day.
The D-Day.
The D-Day, yes. So before
9 days to go.
9 days.
What are your expectations?
My general expectation, I mean, it's only about free, peaceful election,
Yeah.
and a election that you also unify people after the election. That's my expectation as an individual. And please, we're streaming live on our Facebook page. Do send us your comment on your expectation in regards to the coming election. Now, of course, many happenings around election. I believe we have been having a conversation around violence, which keeps on coming up in our communities. And I feel like this issue needs to be addressed as soon as possible. And I feel as a country, I'm gonna take this to the church. And I feel like the church, this is the time they need to speak more on peace, love, and unity. Because I don't really understand. Because if you look at the incident that happened in Kanyama, where the UPND cadres went and used machetes to actually hit on their individual. I mean, we had two people. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing and a painful thing that we can lose two people in regards to the election. I don't really understand, Brenda. And Kanyama is not the only place. We've got other places. Kawata. And not only Kawata, Matelo. It happened in this small course of period. And remember, there's a peace accord which was signed. And parties are inclined. Not too long ago. And parties are inclined to that. So there's no reason why people should not be speaking about and emphasizing on non-violent, free environment.
It's so saddening because Zambia is known to be a Christian nation, and all these years we've lived a peaceful life. But why now? Why are we seeing so much violence? And to make it worse, among youths, why? I
think again, young people really need to really understand we're not fighting one another. We are fighting for a better Zambia. So it doesn't make sense. Imagine that was your brother, for example. Mm-hmm. Imagine that was your father, and then he's been chopped and cut down like that. It doesn't really make sense. We are human, and we need to have that humane in us to really understand that you cannot do that, especially because if you're gonna act like that in terms of because of an election, because an election is it's meant to build the country.
And bring people together.
Exactly. So you can't say I'm fighting for a particular political party so that it can go in power and move the country forward. What forward are we going on? I'm just saying. Yeah, so those are the things that we need to be talking about.
And looking back, sometime back, the ECZ banned all political rallies, campaigns, and whatnot due to violence. But even after lifting those bans, why are we still seeing violence happening around in places, more especially in Lusaka?
I think the whole issue is voicing out on issue of people knowing what exactly we are fighting for as a country and what exactly the election are meant for. And we can never overemphasize on this issue. It will never do any good if we're going to be fighting one another. Exactly. And young people, I know young people, maybe they might be thinking in different version, depending on the situation and circumstance. But circumstance still, no matter what circumstance you have, killing and taking a human being's life does not mean anything. It does not heal anything. So as a country, we shouldn't be moving in that direction.
As a mother, my heart bleeds.
It is painful. It is very much painful, yeah.
Now, we have something here from the Times of Zambia from yesterday. Like two PF cadres were attacked and by the members of the UPND, which has left at least 2 cadres dead in Lusaka's Kanyama township, with police arresting dozens of suspects.
And just mind you, on that particular story, if you recall very well, the report that came through from the police service is that the people that were arrested, of course, there were items which were found, like machetes, of course, catapults, and also uniforms. And
Zambian National Service
uniforms, which people are using, which is against the law
as
again,
well as UPND
for civilians to use. Yeah. So all these issues they need to be addressed as soon as possible. And I feel like political leaders, they need to step in and make sure that they advocate and raise awareness on a non-violent approach in this year's election. I think that's very important.
And we're only remaining with 9 days.
9 days.
9 days. But why should we kill each other?
Yeah.
Well, moving on our program today, we're looking at the countdown to elections and we're looking at violence. What can be done to stop this violence before we approach the D-Day? Well, in courtesy, it's that time where we go for a break. Mm-hmm. What do we have at breakfast?
No, well, it surprised me. What do we have?
Okay, let's get to this clip courtesy of YouTube.
All right. You said courtesy of YouTube.
Yes,
Okay,
courtesy.
take a look.
Hi guys, Gaturi here. Welcome to Leo Tunapika. So today I'm going to show you a quick and easy breakfast recipe. Well, good for breakfast and brunch, and using one of my favorite ingredients. Any guesses? Oh well, you've seen the title. We're using potatoes. I'm going to show you how to make quick and easy breakfast potatoes. So karibu. So for the ingredients, you're going to need potatoes, paprika, salt, and freshly ground black pepper. So guys, this has to be one of my most favorite kitchen tool, because peeling with it makes life so much easier. So yeah guys, if you still use your knife to peel your potatoes, you need to change things up. So this is perfect for peeling potatoes, carrots, even the stubborn butternut gets easily peeled by this. So yeah, we peel the potatoes, then I show you what to do next. So guys, remember we're making breakfast potatoes, so you want to make them bite-sized. We are cubing them. So yeah, so about this size. This looks like a centimeters cubed. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to do this for all the potatoes, then the fun part begins. So guys, here's my oil. It has been heating. I believe I've showed you this hack before, but there's no harm in repeating it. If you want to test whether your oil is hot enough for deep frying, just stick a wooden spoon, and if it bubbles around the spoon, I believe you can see that, then it means that the oil is hot enough. The other option is to toss one piece of whatever it is you're cooking in the oil to see. So choose whichever method you like. So we've cubed our potatoes. Something else I want to tell you guys about deep frying, especially potatoes when you're working with fries. The secret is frying them twice. So this is the first fry. So the work of the first fry is to cook the inside of the potato. Then we'll remove them when they are still white. And then the second fry will be to like brown and crisp up the exterior of the potatoes. So secret to perfect fries, frying them twice. So it's been like 5 minutes. You see, they're still white, but the inside is cooked. Put them paper towel lined plates. So we'll do this for all the potato cubes. Then I'll come and show you the second step. That's the second fry. So far I've told you the secret to perfect potatoes: hot oil, frying twice, and the third secret that you should never forget when deep frying anything: never overcrowd the pan. I know you may feel like you're in a hurry, you want everything to cook very fast, but overcrowding just reduces the temperature of the oil. Then whatever it is you're deep frying ends up soaking in the oil as opposed to being deep fried in it. So guys, don't overcrowd. So guys, I've first fried all the potatoes. There you see, all up in your face. As I've told you guys, they are cooked on the inside. Just check. See how soft the inside is? So now we just want the outside to brown a bit, to become golden and to crisp up. For this, ensure your oil is extremely hot. Then put back your potatoes. This will take roughly 1 to 2 minutes depending on how hot your pan is. The same rules apply. Don't overcrowd the pan. So 1 to 2 minutes. Want it to brown and crisp up. And then we'll finish up our breakfast potatoes and we are ready to enjoy our brunch. So guys, as you can see, they're slightly golden. That's what you want. And they've crisped up. You don't want to put them there for so long. You can hear the way they're hitting my bowl. They're definitely crispy. So yes guys, this is how you achieve crispy on the outside and soft on the inside potatoes. So guys, after the second fry, now that's when you utilize the spices. Start with the paprika, sprinkle it over. Paprika is generally not very hot, so you can put as much or little as you like. Then black pepper. Since I have children and they'll eat this, I don't want to put a lot. Then now we toss them. So ensure you do the tossing when the potatoes are still hot or warm so that the seasoning sticks to the potatoes. So there you have it guys, simple as that. So guys, there you have it. Quick and easy breakfast potatoes. See, the hue has changed because of the paprika. We're going to give it a taste. So yeah, my potato, dipping it in just good old ketchup. Yeah, just as I said it, the double frying makes the outside crispy, the inside is still soft and nice. So guys,
Well, there you had it. So that was the simplest breakfast that one can make. And I know there are runners, morning runners. You know, we have to do our activities and our
Exactly.
work. So as you are rushing, going for work, probably that's the easiest that you can do. Crispy potato breakfast.
Exactly. In
Quite
5
interesting.
minutes.
In 5 minutes.
And you're
Quite
done.
interesting. Very yummy.
It's
Yeah.
always important to start your day on a healthy note,
Yeah.
as the doctors advise.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Mhm.
Have you had your breakfast?
I had my breakfast. In fact, I had my breakfast when I arrived here. So in fact, I couldn't manage to eat it at home because I had to start off at 0350. So I had to take it. And I had
You
to
can
eat
say
as
that
well.
again.
Yeah, so initially, yeah.
Okay.
I had a
Thank
cake, I
you
think. Yeah.
for those breakfast tips courtesy of YouTube. Now, moving forward, in 9 days to come, we'll be casting our votes, heading to the big day, elections day. Zambia will be holding elections on that day. But before that, I mean, what's the atmosphere?
Well, the environment it differs, and I mean from community to community in terms of how we respond to the election. But one thing that we really need to understand is that every Zambian is looking forward to the election day.
Yeah.
That's something that is known.
Just how prepared are Zambians?
Just if for the known fact, the August 12th is election day. Everybody is aware of that. Of course, I know there could be deep rural areas where maybe some few numbers of people might not know, but I don't think so. That's possible. It could be, but yeah.
I know where you're heading.
Yeah,
I know.
but to understand what I mean.
Exactly.
So initially, but it's a known day, and the people are ready for the election.
And we have first-time voters this time around.
First-time voters, and it's important that as first-time voters, you really know what
The
you need
do's
to carry.
and the don'ts,
And
yes.
yeah, it's very important. I know that you need to carry your NRC and your voters
Your
card.
green national registration
And you
card.
please put them in order now, prepare now, put them in a place where you can remember, and of course the time that you'll be going, you don't have to start looking and say, where's my NRC, where's my voters
Exactly.
card? That won't help.
And the polling
Yeah.
station opens at 06 to 18 hours. So
Go early.
ensure between 6 to 18 you're there.
Go
Because
early.
afterwards you won't
Yeah.
be allowed to vote.
Make your cup
For
of
the
tea on the
ladies,
line.
for the ladies,
Yeah?
those of you who like pedicure, manicure,
Yeah, like you.
just
Yeah.
ensure that you
Remove them.
get
yeah.
rid of this because you won't be allowed to.
Go all natural.
Exactly.
That's the word, right? I'm just saying. So you can have your breakfast on the queue. Very important that you go early.
All right. Okay, no, but before we get, because you're in studio, we'll be joined by Dr. Canisius Banda, a development activist, Phil Graham. But before we get to that interview, let's just get views from the general public on what they feel before we get to the D-Day. Take a look.
Community vote my elections tifunika kwalo yambana nikisi one Zambia one nation all Zambians so funika tavota na mtendere tasanka wameti taikapo minaza sanka tizaikapo atisunge na mtendere
atifunika cheta kuirizana yo one Zambia one nation usati va vyongo povota ya Afrika tivota chena mtima umozi usati va vyongo wao kamenya wao kwani mawano fuka cheta kuirizana ze one Zambia one nation ndiye mao yanga ninga kambeko hii
cheti kale wozikonda bazambiani mwamene ozikondera iwe weka tupi yako na ngumubiri wako ndiye mwamene ufunikira kukonda na mnzako nanga ndiwe ngati ndiwe amene wamenyewa ungamvere bwanji so munga nkali omenyana mupeza po chani ni prophet bwanji amene mupeza ndabo zapeza ati ulibe coin ulibe nyumba ulibe chani uzakhala so chapo ulibe nyumba without no voting cheten vintu vamene vitipasa prophet pa umoyo watu not vomenya tivipasa prophet vipanga sense we are one Zambia ni ziko la mtendere ostifuna chongo tachikana kuchokera na kudala chongo mno Mzambia kulibe amene bali na nzeru za chongo stifuna takana ndio mwamene ngakambireko chabe mayo
chame nifuna chame chani konko peshapo chabe tenti vote deo vote tenti ka vote na mtendele tenti ka vote na mtendele aliyense zasanka mwamene azavota but not chongo jefa meni pempako chabe
I'm here to encourage my fellow youth that tenti like violent yako akatuza tikaenda kawawa kwenda osha chongo kwinangu tizichosemwe tenti embekeze se final day yobwera yovota so that tikavotere mu peace ivi vakwati ambo sichosamwe abani watani abani wachipanchaisi yo ndise wa PF ndise wa PND aye ukuka wakandeo tenti wamenya wanzatu tenti zichosemwe tenti embekeze se final day yovota tikavotere mu mtendere nosanga leader wamene azatipeleka ku vintu pamoja
ise bantu pano pamene tilili tivutika chape so funika kwenda vota na mtendere maningi funika mapanga awe funika komana iya bonse nse bantu bamozi na bamozi bati mulungu ndiye amenaziba bonse pali bonse kama vili bonse na kama kote pamene.
It's not good for youths to fighting. It's not good. Yeah, it's not good. We are preparing for election, but we don't want the violence, fighting, and the other things. We don't like that situation. My message is to keep peace and harmony so that we can work together.
Tikagulizana tizangala pamozi. Lotia kwati ukubalesa ivaso ukubalesa tupika che tigulizana timbelelana kaiti se bantu pamozi. So chikuta tupema pika tigulizana Zambia yonse. Lotiyambana but nise bantu pamozi. Manje tikamboyambana manje kumbeko tizaenda kai. Tupika titendizana manje. Nise bantu manje kupanga manje se bantu pamozi manje tiyanganirana manje. Kai nikatenzane bawanga. Nishinene ngakwanza tenza bena ngo bakutyali. So matili pano na manzanga bonse timagulizana. Chikulu futi chetufika tingalirapo funika olanga tuwaona tya panza kubambana vibe kumutu wote ngasika pansi abaga tintingale agodinga batimangalira day otika oshandeo kubebedza panga funika titangala titendizana mavuto kai siyama sina ngati muyambana yama sina ngati mugwirizana.
You're still watching Live Breakfast in the morning, and of course, in the studio, I'm joined by Dr. Canisius Banda. Welcome to Live Breakfast, Doctor.
Thank you, Ndanji. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, Farmers' Day today?
Yeah, Farmers' Day today.
Yeah, you know, Dr. Lungu and his team
Before we
have
break,
done very well on farming.
yeah, before we break word, how is the family, maybe?
Oh, my family.
Let's start on that note.
The family is fine. We've been looked after by our good Lord, and we are safe.
Yeah.
We pray that what God is doing for us, He should do for you and you know, the rest of the people out there. Yeah.
Speaking about the day, Farmers' Day, what does it mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. You know, the word farming, you can go beyond agriculture. You know, you can farm your life. But to be specific, I was saying Dr. Lungu and his team should be commended. The subsidy which they give citizens, they've been giving over time now, the Farmer Input Support Program. It's worked wonders. It has over 1 million subscribers at the moment. And I've just come from the Eastern Province. The inputs are already there. And because of FISP, we just recorded a bumper harvest. Zambia is a food secure country. And under his watch, Dr. Lungu's watch, Zambia is one of the leading grain exporters on the continent of Africa. You can imagine that. And you see in this manifesto of the PF, every year 100,000 farmers will be graduated from peasant farming to commercial farming. You can imagine, this is the promise. Earlier I heard you talk about cashew nuts. Yeah, cashew nuts started by Dr. Kenneth Kaunda in Western Province, but cashew nuts can grow anywhere in Zambia. But through the IDC, the Industrial Development Corporation, again, Dr. Lungu and his team have been planting 6 million trees in Western Province. Now, this is not a company doing it, it's the government directly interfacing with the citizens. There are about 40,000 households involved. 6 million trees. In 3 years' time from today, we will harvest about 315,000 tons of cashew nuts. Now, I heard you say the price is good. It's about $9,000 per ton. So you can do the math. So in 3 years' time, and yearly after that, Zambia, just from Western Province, from those 40,000 households, Zambia will make not less than $2.8 billion. So talk about diversification. You see this document, diversifying the economy from mining to other things, it's happening. So not only are we doing it in Western Province, but Dr. Lungu and his team have taken cashew nuts to the Eastern Province, where 3 million trees are being planted. So again, you can do your math. You'll see that we'll have about $1.4 billion.
There's a huge potential.
Yes.
Now I understand, we really.
So farming is life. Farming is economic vibrancy. Farming is just.
Yes. So maybe sorry to cut you short. I know there's a lot that we can talk about, and we appreciate the farmers and what they're doing. But it's election year, and there's a lot of conversation around election.
Right.
You used to be UPND vice president.
For politics.
For politics. Yeah. What happened? How did you transition from UPND to
Well, I should thank Hichilema and his team for affording me that platform. I served my country, with them. But when I was joining, I didn't see the tribes of these colleagues of mine. It's when I got there that I was taught, I learned that I didn't belong to certain parts of the country, There's an example that I usually give. There was a time just after the 2015 election, we had lost as UPND. I was called by the Southern Province Committee to just go and give them a boost, raise morale and all that. So I got a team, my team, about 7 people. My wife was by my side, and we were heading south towards Mazabuka there, when I got a call from Hichilema, and he said, go back. So I said, what do you mean, go back? I'm doing party work, and I'm selling you and keeping our troops together. So he says, no, you don't belong there. I was astounded, I was stunned. I said, what do you mean I don't belong there? He says, no, you don't belong to Southern Province. I said, look, I am Banda, and I'm going to see Hamweles and Hadunkas and some Mwansas and Chilufias who are resident that side. This will clearly, illustrate that we are one Zambia, one nation. He was insistent. He said, no, you don't belong. Yeah. So I said, where do I belong? He was very clear. He said, you belong to Eastern Province.
Yeah. So what do you make of what is currently happening in the country as we head towards the poll?
Yeah.
In the governor's space.
I must say this again. The UPND are a vehicle for the assertion of ethnic pride. Okay? They need to transform themselves into a vehicle for national development. They're not at the moment. And in this particular election, they're behaving like members of a sect, worshipping a particular god. When you chat with them, you engage them in debate, they're incapable of rational thought. Okay? To them, this is a do or die election. Yeah, if we don't win, nobody should win. Is that
the reason why we're having a lot of violence?
Oh yeah, look, I mean, he's on record. Their president is on record. Hakainde Hichilema. Zambia is a Christian nation. And Jesus said, when you are hit here, you should give the other cheek. That's Christianity.
Is that the formula being used?
That's Christianity. But Hichilema is on record telling his people, when you are hit back. When you are attacked, attack back. That's not Christianity. That's war. That is war. And this is why I keep, and I'm happy, Dr. Lungu has acted. He has deployed
soldiers,
other teams of our defense forces. He must do whatever it takes to keep Zambia united, peaceful, without violence, without bloodshed. This country should not fall apart under his watch. You understand me?
You are a leader as well.
Yeah.
So how do we move from where we are to where we need to be as a country?
By charting the way we are and reminding one another that, you see, we have people like Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. They worked with Kenneth Kaunda, born in Northern Province, but he worked with Humphrey Mulemba from Northwestern. He worked with Nalumino Mundia from Western Province. He worked with Mainza Chona from Southern Province. You understand me? We are one Zambia, one nation. And we shouldn't just say it, we should live it. You understand me? Look, Zambia is a wealthy country, my friend. It's potentially wealthier than Great Britain. We've got all we need here. So let's be united. Let's have peace, no violence. Elections are a competition of ideas. It's not war.
In regards to ideas and war,
yeah.
What happened in Kanyama and Kabwata Matelo? Who's to blame in this case?
Terrible thing. Terrible. I blame it on the UPND. I told you, you understand me. It's do or die for them. We are winning this thing, and we can't lose it. And Dr. Lungu should take note of this. When he wins, the UPND will not accept that they've lost.
Over the years, there's always been a pointing finger in many issues in this country.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the right way to develop a country But when a problem happens, you point the finger at the person and say, you are the problem.
Yeah, well, you see, every time we're confronted with a problem, a challenge, we must understand the root cause, okay? For example, look, the Kwacha is appreciating now, but the biggest economic error that happened in Zambia happened just after the 1991 elections. So we must point the finger, okay? 80% of our economy at the time was in your hands, my hands, public hands. So we should have privatized to citizens, capacitate citizens, afford them capital, buy companies, and keep them afloat. But you see now, that transition was badly handled. It was fraught with corruption, and Hakainde Hichilema was at the center of it. He was a consultant hired to value the assets. He did the work devoid of patriotism and nationalism. He was inspired purely by profit and opportunism, because you see, the very companies that were undervalued, they were looted, seized, and got one or two of them. You understand me? So because we got these companies sold to foreigners, a number of them were shut down. So you see, today, 80% of the economy is in foreign hands. Yeah. And the PF are taking it back to citizens. Now, you know the problem? When the economy is in foreign hands, when the Indians, the Canadians, the Burundis, the South Africans are running the economy, when they make a profit, they buy the dollars and they take the dollars home. So you have pressure on the dollar. And this is why you notice that over the years, the Kwacha has been losing its value. Okay? The supply of the dollars is low. The demand, for the dollar is high. But I know you want to say something. But look at what has happened now. KCM is in our hands. Vendata is gone. Glencore is gone. Mopani Copper Mines is in our hands. So now what is happening with copper at about $10,000 a ton? The money now is domiciled here. You understand me? So we are stemming the outflow of dollars, at the same time increasing the supply, and this is what is happening. So the dollar is, the Kwacha is appreciating. Sorry. And Danji is soon and very soon.
I get where you're coming
from.
We'll spread this conversation definitely further. Right. But coming back to the election, would you agree with me that the issue of cadres is a big concern in this country, and we might create labels through these same cadres in the future?
Well, the word cadre and Danji just means a member of a particular organization, and we are all cadres, really. We belong to one party or another, and there are citizens who don't belong to any of these parties. It's just that, you see, we've got all to follow what is in the Republican Constitution. And there is a declaration there that we are Christian. And the Christians are tolerant people, they are peaceful people. When you are hit here, you should give the other cheek so that, look, and that way there will be no violence. Peace will reign. But we question the faith of some of these political practitioners. So it's important that the institutions mandated with law enforcement, they do just that.
Mr. Canisius Banda, thank you so much for coming to Life Breakfast. Your last words on the show.
My last words are that, you see, there is no need to change government. There is no need, because the leading opposition political, I was there, Shelungu Kwendamo, I was there. I know what they're about. Their manifesto, I have it here. It's obsolete. For example, just one example, point number 8 in their manifesto, they are promising to eradicate ZESCO blackouts. You see how jaded, how anachronistic their manifesto is. It's what they are promising to do, Dr. Lungu and his team have either already done it or they're doing it. So palibe pindu yosintira. You understand me? So, but my very, very final words are that we have a beautiful country, well-resourced. You know, God gave us everything. Let us be united, peaceful, without violence. One Zambia, one nation. And you and me, Danji, should anchor our lives on God. You understand me? Let's use God as our compass, and we will find the prosperity that we're seeking.
Thank you so much, Dr. Canisius Banda.
God bless you.
Well, that was Dr. Canisius Banda joining me this morning on Live Breakfast. We'll take a short break and we'll come back more on this program.
Thank you so much for still staying glued to Live TV, the breakfast show. An insightful interview that Ndanje had with Dr. Canisius Banda there. Well, right about now, I'm joined by Mr. Andrew Ntewewe from Young Leaders, a Young African Leaders Initiative. You're welcome to the interview.
Thank you very much for having invited me to be here.
Yes,
You
indeed.
made me wake up very early.
Okay. So in case someone just joins us this morning, they've just walked into their living room and they found this program on. What is YALI all about?
So the Young African Leaders Initiative is a democracy and human rights institution. Okay. It was formed by young Zambians, among themselves myself,
wow.
With a view to ensuring that we create a platform for young people to effectively participate in our democratic processes. One of the key elements we discovered as of 2011 was that young people were constantly being used as tools of political violence. And unfortunately, they were not playing a very important role in national development. So it was important for us to create a platform for young people to interrogate policy, for young people to interrogate democratic tendencies, for young people to hold government accountable and ensure that the human rights agenda is effectively followed.
Nice.
Most importantly was also an agenda of ensuring young people become entrepreneurial and develop our motherland to the extent where our potential is fully realized. Currently, we remain a country with a lot of potential, which has not yet been fully realized. So the Young African Leaders Initiative is a movement of young leaders, is a movement of emerging leaders, is a movement of young citizens who are interested in seeing Zambia prosper democratically, economically, and also have a clear, powerful human rights.
So you have youths that are fully involved in governance.
So we have young people, those who are graduating from university. We have young people, those who are emerging leaders within political parties. We have young people who are entrepreneurs, young people who are contributing to national development. And we are saying, can they utilize their energy, their vigor for national development?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking of utilizing their energy, why is there so much violence this time around during this period?
I have indicated that one of the key challenges we have is that we have a lot of work in terms of education, that we have to compete. I listened to Dr. Canisius Banda's discourse here with keen interest, and I think that we are all clear that democracy is a marketplace for competing ideas. That democracy is a place where we must compete on the basis of ideas and policies. It's not a place for panga carrying. No, it's not a place for stone throwing. It's not a place for macheting one another. And that requires that we are tolerant. That requires that we respect divergent views. That requires that I must be able to understand when I look at you that you are different. The way you look and the way I look, we are different. That's the same way in terms of the way we think. We think differently. So we must be able to tolerate one another. We must not insult, maim, and gug one another.
But do you think political parties are giving chance to the young ones?
That's one of the biggest challenges we are facing. One of the biggest challenges we are facing is that political parties have not done an excellent job in terms of creating opportunities for young people. And I keep saying this, that unfortunately our political parties are closed shops. And there's a lot of work that has to be done to make them more accessible, to make them available. And one of the key areas we have been working on as the Young African Leaders Initiative is to change the legal framework in this country.
Exactly.
You will recall that we fought very hard for Bill number 10. And one of the reasons why we fought very hard for Bill number 10 was because we wanted the law to provide an opportunity for young people to effectively participate in our governance processes. We also wanted women and people with disabilities to also be able to participate. And this is the reason why even in this election, we are sympathetic to the Patriotic Front. Why we are sympathetic? We are sympathetic because they have demonstrated an ability to be flexible.
Exactly.
They have demonstrated an ability to say, yes, we are trying to develop this great nation, but we don't have all wisdom. We don't have everything. So we can hear from other stakeholders. We can hear from the youths, come on board. We can hear from the women, come on board. We can hear from people with disabilities, come on board. That unfortunately cannot be said of UPND. UPND have not been flexible. They know it all, to the extent that when we are demanding the bill number 10, they did not look beyond their own lives. They looked only at themselves. And to them it was all about getting political power without looking at the greater good of motherland Zambia. And so this is where we have had a problem. Even the issue of political violence that we alluded to earlier on, which I have indicated that one of the challenges is that people don't seem to understand democracy. That we notice this problem within UPND, that anyone else who has a different opinion from them is a criminal. Anyone else who has a different opinion from them is a thief. Anyone who does not agree with them must be annihilated, must be insulted. And that is a recipe for violence. That is a recipe for a civil war. You don't do that in a democratic space.
So in this case, are you saying that the UPND are the cause of political violence, looking at the age group, because most of them are under 35?
Unfortunately, their leadership has made them the biggest culprits in terms of political violence. And one of the key things that Dr. Panda was talking about here is the issue of what statesmen do, what kind of statements are provided and given by statesmen. Statesmen normally ensure that there is peace and tranquility. Statesmen do not preach violence. Statesmen will always talk peace and coexistence and tolerance. But you've heard the statements that have come from Hakainde Hichilema, you've heard the statements that have come from the UPND leadership. They have been promoting, they have been abating political violence.
Maybe they're saying this because they're saying the other camp is always provoking the other camp.
This is what I'm trying to say.
And they're only trying to
This
defend
is what I am
themselves.
trying to say when you are a statesman, there's a way in which you handle issues. Nelson Mandela, for instance, one of the greatest statesmen that the world has ever seen, was imprisoned for 27 years. When he was imprisoned for 27 years, he had an opportunity to become president of South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Did he retaliate?
No.
Did he tell ANC to kill the whites because they had oppressed them for a very long time? No, he didn't. Instead of promoting violence, he promoted coexistence. Instead of promoting retaliation, he preached that South Africans should be united. Instead of prosecuting, if you like, and annihilating the white community,
Okay.
he provided a Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Thank you.
The same can be said about Zambia.
But then we've seen also the UPND being beaten. What do you make of
What
that?
I'm trying to say here is,
Mhm.
what are the political statements that have come out? You know, leadership is about what you say to your people. That's what leadership is all about. If, for instance, all the time you're going to tell them, go and defend yourself, what do you expect? Today, as we are speaking, we are saying we're going to go to the 2021 elections. One of the biggest challenges of the 2021 elections is that there are certain individuals who will not accept this election result. And we know it in advance that UPND and Hakainde will not accept the election results. Why? Because even in 2016, he refused to accept election results. So one of the key things that we must be demanding as a citizenry is that we must impress it on UPND to be able to accept election results. Because failure to accept election results is a cause of political violence. Failure to, when you come and say, whether you like it or not, we are winning this election, that's a cause of political violence because you don't know how people are actually going to vote. And this has been the problem which has been going on. But the key element I have also indicated this morning is that leaders must speak peace. Leaders must condemn violence. How often have you heard Hakainde condemn violence? Just 2 days ago, there was a gruesome murder of 2 individuals who were butchered, mutilated, something that is un-Zambian, according to the police, by suspected UPND cadres. And you and me, as well-meaning citizens, we sit back and wait and hear to say what our leader is going to say. The President of the Republic
was deeply touched. And immediately, he had to deploy the men and women in uniform. And he says in his message to the nation that he does not expect that something like that should ever happen in this country.
But it's happening.
Yes, but this is leadership. I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about a president who wakes up and says, this can't go on, so let me deploy the army. Every well-meaning citizen, every well-meaning community leader, the Catholic Church, through Archbishop Alec Band, woke up and said, this is unacceptable. Stop the bloodshed. As I'm speaking to you, 48 hours later, Hakainde Hichilema has not opened his mouth.
So if he made a statement, do you think the violence would stop?
And you see, this is a question I've received. That's what leadership entails. Leadership entails that you come out and condemn the violence. Now, people have been butchered by suspected UPND cadres. You remain quiet. People have been butchered and killed in cold blood. Your body, your heart is so cold that you don't think it's a matter that you're supposed to comment on. And yet on so many matters, he comments in record time. And where people have died, he remains conspicuously silent. It beats me that this is a person who wishes to be president of the country. And people have died, and he's
Life
all cool,
Life
all
goes on.
quiet.
As we come to the end of the interview,
Yes.
well, your contribution and your message to the Zambians as we head to the elections.
So first of all,
With 9 days to
the Zambian people have to make a right decision. They have to make a right decision. And we are on the crossroads. We have to choose between light and darkness. We have to choose between heartlessness and empathy. We have to choose. I have said to people all the time that governing a country is not like managing a farm or having a cattle ranch. It's complicated. It requires that you feel for other people. It requires that you must have empathy. It requires that you must look at the challenges that citizens face and put yourself in their shoes. That's what it requires. You don't want a leader who will think about themselves only. You don't want a leader who will come and impress foreigners at the expense of Zambians. You don't want a leader who will pledge to sell national assets to foreigners. And unfortunately, Hakainde has a bad history. The history of selling national assets. So, from where I stand, where my community stands, it seems the campaign is the choice is very simple. I want to believe that the people of this country must choose President Edgar Lungu to continue becoming president of this country, because he has demonstrated empathy, he has demonstrated effective leadership. And the other thing which is also very important is that the people must ask themselves a question: what is it we wanted from government? When we elected the PF government, what is it we wanted? You wanted better roads. Have better roads not been done? They have been done. You wanted hospitals. Haven't hospitals not been built? They have been built. We wanted schools. Have secondary schools not been built? As I'm speaking to you, in the past 10 years, the PF government has built over 700 secondary schools. So they have done that part.
As of 2011, we only had 3 public universities. Today we have 9 operational public universities. So do we have better universities? Yes, we have better universities. As of 2011, 2014, 2015, we had serious challenges of load shedding. Now what has happened is that the government has gone on to build infrastructure to deal with electricity. So if you look at what we wanted from government and what has been achieved so far, you realize there is no need to change government. You must be able to ensure that you maintain and ensure there is policy predictability, you ensure that the government is operating effectively, and you ensure that there is consistency in leadership.
But other people have different views from yours.
They may have different views, but the question is, what are those different views? I have had a discussion with a number of them and asked them, what do you want? And others say, we want change. Change for what? From where to what? For what is it that, what do you really want to change? Yeah? You look at their manifesto, there's very little or nothing. And I like the word that Dr. Canisius Banda uses, it's obsolete. Because you are talking about things that, for instance, you want to achieve, and yet the government has already been able to achieve those things. On Farmers' Day today, I will tell you, it was unthinkable in the past. But today, our farmers are selling maize to FRA at 150 kwacha per 50 kg bag.
Wow.
That's alleviating poverty. But the other thing also which is very important is that in the past, when farmers sold maize to FRA, it took years before they were paid. Today, they are getting their payments within 48 hours. Isn't that alleviating poverty? So what is the reason for changing government? So I am certain, thank you very much for having invited me, that government has done a very commendable job and they performed beyond expectation. And I think it's only prudent and correct that the Zambian people give them another mandate.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Andrew Ntewelwe, for that.
I'm very grateful. Thank you very much for having invited me.
Okay. So there you have it, viewers, an insightful interview that I had with Mr. Andrew Ntewelwe. Brace yourselves, 9 days to go, and we're heading to the polls. Well, Live TV has a whole lot of beautiful programs lined up for you. Now, here's a piece of what we provide for you on our platform. Take a look.
Live TV. Family entertainment.
Entertainment for all.
As a country, it is very important to keep pace with the prevailing condition in our society in order to define the future now through ideas that are more resilient. Join me, Danji Duncan Simwanza, every Monday at 20:30, The Manifesto Show, a platform that gives you an opportunity to get to listen to different manifestos by different political parties, only on Live TV channel 112 on your Topstar decoders. Make a day.
What's up, my people, my country people? Guess what? It is the Next Gen season 2. We are coming bigger, better, funnier. We have a whole lot of creatives lined up for you. This particular season is proudly sponsored by Lusaka Institute of Applied Sciences. Every Saturday, and we are clocked at 14 hours. Do not miss it, because you'll be missing your own entertainment. It is your favorite TV host, Mr. Martin Lawrence Mutale. Let's do this.
Music connects us to God via worship and praise. As Live TV, we are here to encourage you about the word of God and the importance of worshiping God. This is your brother and friend, Wetson, on Sounds of Triumph. Catch me every Sunday at 15 hours on Topstar Channel 112. Let's preach Christ.
Agriculture. What hits your mind when you hear the word agriculture? Food. Welcome to the Agripreneur Show. The Agripreneur Show brings you nothing but the very best in the agriculture world. On this show, we begin to understand further what our farmers go through, what they deal with to bring us food every day in our lives. Catch me every Saturday at 16 hours as I bring you agriculture on your screen.
Fridays are not just Fridays anymore. Why? Because Life TV brings you an exciting program called Lifestyle. Full of interaction, entertainment, and packed with educative segments.
I'm living in what one might call, well, it's a secular world.
You find a young person seated here because he has also paid. You continue to sit.
Catch Brenda Kamwendo every Friday at 18:30 on Live TV, channel 112 on Topstar.
I'm going to prepare pizza bread. So all the time you're cooking, remember to wash your veggies. Remember, breakfast is not supposed to take very long. Every person can cook. Every man, every woman can cook.
Live TV. Family entertainment.
Entertainment for all.
As a country, it is very important to keep pace with the prevailing condition in our society in order to define the future now through ideas that are more resilient. Join me, Danji Duncan Simwanza, every Monday at 20:30, The Manifesto Show, a platform that gives you an opportunity to get to listen to different manifestos by different political parties, only on Live TV channel 112 on your Topstar decoders. Make a day.
This is Enoch Mwaba, aka the Golden Voice. I must say that these are tough times due to the COVID-19 that is all over the world. So it's very, very important that we get to protect ourselves and our loved ones from COVID-19. But to do that, we need to follow the golden rules. And these are masking up at all times. Number 2, maintaining social distance. Number 3, avoiding crowded places. Number 4, make sure that you get to wash your hands frequently or use hand sanitizer. Number 5, always make sure that you seek medical attention if you get to have COVID symptoms. You're watching Live TV. Pleasant viewing.
Well, those are some of the exciting programs we have on our platform. That's channel 112 on your top star decoders. Make sure you make a date of one of these exciting shows and just get informed, get entertained, and get inspired. Of course, Live TV give you nothing but the best because you're watching live. Brenda, we are back, but we are winding up, which is sad.
Which is sad.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
But of course, every time we start a week and a new month, it's important to give people the right motivation.
Exactly.
As we call it, the morning pill.
Morning pill.
It's a dosage that we give people so that they get the right
as
motivation.
you start your week. Because
Start
today
your-
is a Monday, so start your Monday on a positive day. Take a
Well,
look.
take a look.
Very inspiring morning pill this morning.
Yeah, very quite interesting. And as we are winding up, of course, as you're starting your day, and I hope you had a wonderful breakfast, by the way.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed myself because we had very insightful interviews and we had very powerful guests on our show.
Yeah, quite many issues were raised, especially Dr. Kelisha Spanda did make mention of some important aspects as we head towards the election.
Mhm.
Also, Mr. Handrington, where we
yes,
did emphasize on what the role of young people should be like as we approach the election.
And not to be used as tools of violence.
Political violence, yes.
Well,
great.
All the best. Have a very blessed
And
week.
productive.
And productive
Month.
week.
Month.
Bye-bye. See you on Wednesday.
See you.